Okay, Tarot by Keith here. Today I wanted to talk about numerology and how it corresponds to tarot. But first we have to dig into the numbers a little bit. So I'm reminded of the quote that Nikola Tesla said. He said, if you want to understand the inner workings of the universe, you have to understand the numbers 3, 6, and 9. And that goes way deep. What he was talking about was something described in Vortex math. So I'm going to show you this little thing right here. All right, so if you have a circle and you have 9 at the top, 9's always at the top, and then you number 1 through 8 going around it in equal spacing, the first thing you need to understand is the rule of doubling. So everything starts with the 1, right? All 1. So the rule of doubling, if you start with 1 and double it, you get 2. If you double 2, you get 4. If you double 4, you get 8. If you double 8, you get 16. And 1 plus 6 is 7. So remember that everything condenses down to a single digit. So you add everything up and you reduce it to the 1 digit, right? All right, so 16 doubled is 32, and 3 plus 2 is 5. Also 7 doubled is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. 32 doubled is 64, 6 plus 4 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1, so we're back at 1. Now, if you keep going, that pattern continues to infinity. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. Over and over and over to infinity. We've also made the infinity symbol. We've also made the VW sign that Hitler used in the 40s for Volkswagen. And it also very much resembles the Masonic Lodge sign, right? So if you notice in the pattern of 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1, we've left out the numbers 3, 6, and 9. It also works backwards, by the way, the rule of halving. 1 divided by 2 is 0.5, 0.5 divided by 2 is 0.25, 2 plus 5 is 7, 0.25 and half is 0.125, 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 5 is 8. So to infinity, either way you go, you get the same pattern. It's pretty remarkable. So we've left out 3, 6, and 9. So still on the rule of doubling, 3 doubled is 6, 6 doubled is 12, 1 plus 2 is 3, 12 doubled is 24, 2 plus 4 is 6, 24 doubled is 48, 4 plus 8 is 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. So you're just oscillating back and forth to infinity between the numbers 3 and 6. So that's pretty special. That leaves the number 9 stands alone. So when I say the number 9 is the ultimate number of the universe, this is what I mean. This is why the Beatles wrote the song Number 9. So 9 doubled, 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. 18 doubled is 36. 3 plus 6 is 9. 36 doubled is 72. 7 plus 2 is 9. To infinity, 9 just repeats itself over and over and over again. All right, so with the 3, 6, and 9, we've now made the equilateral triangle within the circle, which is a big spiritual symbol, the triangle and the circle. So this goes way, way deeper. There's patterns you can come to, and there's videos, if you look up Vortex math, that will show you that, and you can map out these matrices, which shows an inverse and outverse, positive, negative, inhale, exhale at the 0 point. So this is the way the universe speaks. This speaks on the macrocosm and the microcosm, to the subatomic level, to the galactic level, to the multi-universal level. I believe this information is encoded with a very sacred plan. I think this is where sacred geometry comes from. This is where, if you're into Buckminster Fuller and buckyballs, the hexagonal patterns, the geodesic domes, all of this corresponds to 3, 6, and 9. That holy trinity, the 3, all built on 3, right? 3, 6, and 9, all multiples of 3. So I find that to be incredibly important when you're discussing numerology. And also what we talked about in the last video, the number 10 does exist in tarot, but it's more of a symbol than an actual number, than a digit. You really only have 1 through 9. So all of this comes into play when you're reading tarot cards. So back to this little card, which we talked about last time. where the even numbers are blue and the odd numbers are red. And blue is divine masculine or divine feminine, receptive, intuitive energy, and red is divine masculine energy. 1 through 10 are the beginning and the ending of cycles, which is a never-ending fractal that goes along. Now, numbers also have specific energies attached to them. The number 1 is new beginnings, everything in potential, fresh starts. It's the start of a new cycle, right? And we're starting on the ground. Remember, the square is the ground and the square is the sky, and this is that in-between place between spirit and ground. So 1 is the beginning of this climb up the ladder of 1 through 9. Now, a 2 is a receptive energy, and it's on the receptive lower side of the card. 2 in numerology stands for balance, duality, and partnership. So that plays into all of the numbers on the cards that you see. Now, the number 3, we move into an active male energy on the ground. And 3 is creativity, expression, and growth. So when you see the number 3 a lot, it can represent, this active taking what you've amassed and creating with it. It can deal with sexuality, passion, desire. So there's a lot of fire in the number 3. Now the number 4 represents stability, application, and formation. So that's when 4 walls, building a foundation. The number 4, stability, application, and formation. Taking what you've learned, integrating it, and building yourself something stable upon which to stand. And that usually comes after a creative burst of new learning or new knowledge. Now, the number 5 is the number before you ascend into the top half of the card. So there's always like a test here. The 5 can be like a speed bump. It represents conflict, change, and expansion. So how do we grow? Usually we come up against something. There's a conflict, cognitive dissonance. There's something that challenges us. And then we expand to absorb what made us uncomfortable and then make that within our comfort zone. So conflict, and then you change the way you think, and the result is this expansion. You've expanded your awareness from the 5. And when you pass the test to the 5, you ascend up into the top half of the card. So the number 6 is one of the beautiful 369 numbers, right? So this is a positive red aspect of the 369 crystalline grid, and this is a receptive quality. 6 rules the negative charge, the receptive quality. And the number 6 stands for cooperation, compassion, and harmony. So I love the number 6. It always makes me think of the word monad, which is like your soul group, the group that you incarnated with to come in and help each other out. You're destined to meet in a lifetime because you're going to spur each other on. But you have to do the individual work to get yourself ready and get your vibration up to be able to receive these people in your life, this energy of the number 6. So there's this receptive quality in the spiritual side of the card to bring more in that's highly resonant with your soul's path. 7 is a number that always makes me think of courage. It's major movement forward. It stands for spirituality, exploration, and wisdom. So we're really getting onto the upper rungs of the ladder once you get to 7. And so you've received information or support from the universe and from people in your group to spur on this major movement forward on your spiritual path. Now, the number 8 is a pretty tricky number because it's receptive and feminine, even and blue. However, it stands for action, change, and regeneration. So it messed with me for a minute because I was like, well, how can the number 8 be receptive and active at the same time? And then the phrase receptive action came to me. So what that means in my perspective is instead of being reactive to a situation and being impulsive and falling back into old patterns, this is where when you get triggered or challenged, the number 8 represents stilling yourself and going within, doing the meditation to receive guidance on which actions to take. And there's this, flow. 8 is the infinity symbol, and there's that flow to it. And when you get into flow, you start to realize that you don't have to work as hard as you thought you did. When you're receiving information on what to do by connecting through the heart, you get what you need to do by emotional feeling, your internal guidance system on which actions to take. And those actions become less arduous and less laborious and more just destined and in flow. And then we have the master number 9, which is an active red energy, masculine energy. And that's putting it all together. 9 stands for fulfillment, idealism, and inspiration. And to me, 9 is when you're in this creative flow state and you just move from one task to the next with joy. You're creating, and you can accomplish so much in such a short period of time because you're not fighting yourself anymore. All right, so then because we never reach the end of this fractal ladder, you have to get into the 10, which we discussed last time is an anomalous number in numerology, but exists in tarot as a portal, in my opinion. It's 1 foot in the old and 1 foot in the new. You're ending the old cycle while beginning the new one before you start the climb all over again, which you do so on a new level of awareness, right? It's a spiral. So you're at the same spot you were, but you're up an octave. So you just keep going. So this will come into play, numerology, in getting deeper into the cards, which we will do soon. So that's my little spiel on Vortex math and the numerology of tarot. I hope that resonates, and I hope you buy a deck of cards and have some fun. All right, bye.